someone asks this question, my first response is always to ask a question back. Why are you asking this? I want to know if they're coming from in the emotional problem of evil, that they have experienced difficulty in their life, or whether they just simply have an intellectual question and they saw a movie and they're just wondering how God and evil coexist. So from the intellectual perspective, why does God allow evil? Well, I would want to ask the question, well, what is evil? I want you to stop and think about that for a second. What is evil? Can you only think of examples of evil like murder or racism? Or can you actually define it? How would we define evil? This is often a very hard thing for people to do, and it causes us to stop for a second and think, because we complain about why God is allowing evil, but when asked to define evil, it becomes very difficult. And here's why I want to explain why. From the Christian view, evil is defined as the absence of good. It is the privation of good, is where good things should be, and is not, that's where you have evil, where good is being blocked. So think of shadows, for example. A sun or light produces light. Where the light is being blocked, you have a shadow. That would be evil. And so we understand this based on what good is. So then what is good? Well, good is that which relates or responds or is closest to God's original design. So for example, let me use this coffee mug that I have right here. We asked the question, how is this designed? Well, it has a handle, it's made of a sturdy material, keeps things warm. So what is the purpose? Well, the purpose is to put a hot liquid in coffee. So now we have an understanding of what is a good use for the mug. A good use would be to put coffee in it. What is a bad use? Smash it. Use it as a hammer. That would be a bad use. It's not what it was designed to do. Right? We can do this through a lot of stuff. If I have a whiteboard marker, where's my whiteboard marker? There we go, right here in my classroom. Right, what was it designed to do? Well, it was designed, it has the felt tip, it has ink in it, it has the cap. This is how it was designed. What's the purpose then? The purpose is to write on a whiteboard. So what's a good use for it? Writing on whiteboard. A bad use? Stabbing someone. That's what one student told me. Not a good use. So when we know the design and purpose of something, then we can say what a good and bad use for it is, or good design, bad design. For example, this YouTube video. Well, man, YouTube is terrible. Why won't it let me make phone calls? Well, that's not what it was designed to do. I think you get the point. And here's why I think this matters so much. When talking about why God would allow evil, there's a reason why. This is only an objection, I think, that can be made from within a Christian worldview. As the famous atheist Richard Dawkins said, and here's my paraphrase, but he says, the universe that we see has precisely what we would expect, given the fact that there's no design, no purpose, no evil, and no good, with nothing but blind, pitiless indifference. Here's why I think that this is significant. Not everyone's going to agree with Dawkins here, but here's what I think is significant, is that I think he recognizes if you don't have design, a designer, God, designing the universe the way that it should work, and therefore you don't have purpose, an objective purpose, how something should function, you can't say whether that is a good use or a bad use. Who says I shouldn't use this marker to stab someone or this cup to use as a hammer? Well, should it be dented? Should it not? Well, what's it for? If it is not designed for a purpose, that becomes more difficult. And so when it comes to human beings, what were we designed to be? We were designed to be free. And so if you enslave someone, that's evil. If you give them freedom, that is good. We're designed to live. So if you kill them, that's evil. If you let them live and help them live, that is good. And this is how we understand what is good and evil in our culture, based on how we were designed and purposed to live. Something that can only, I think, make sense from within a Christian worldview. If there's no design, no objective purpose, you have no good, no evil. How could you possibly know if you're using something for good or wrong, right or wrong reason, if you don't know what it's made to be used for? We have to know what humans and this world was made for in order to know if our actions are good or evil. So maybe next time you're in a conversation on why God would allow evil, maybe stop and ask, well, what is evil? Let's define this first so that we have an understanding to go from as we move forward in this conversation on the problem of evil.